Phase 1. Stop defining yourself by what happened to you. How many times have you looked at your life and quietly convinced yourself that your best days are already behind you? How many times have you replayed the same disappointment, the same rejection, or the same mistake until it started to feel like your identity instead of just an experience? This is one of the biggest reasons people never experience the comeback they are capable of. They stop believing in who they can become because they become trapped by who they once were. The truth is, life will leave marks on every one of us. There will be moments when you give everything to a relationship and it still falls apart. There will be moments when you work harder than anyone else and still don't get the opportunity you deserved. There will be moments when people misunderstand you, underestimate you, or walk away without ever recognizing your value. Those experiences are painful. They are real. But they are not meant to become the foundation of your identity. Too many people introduce themselves to the future carrying the labels of the past. They don't say them out loud, but they believe them deep inside. I'm the person who always gets rejected. I'm the one who never succeeds. I'm not confident enough. I'm too old. I'm too far behind. These aren't facts. They're stories repeated so often that they begin to sound like the truth. And once you believe those stories, every new opportunity is filtered through them. Imagine trying to drive a car while staring only in the rearview mirror. You would never move forward safely because your attention would always be fixed on where you've already been. Yet that is exactly how many people live. Every decision they make is controlled by yesterday's disappointments instead of tomorrow's possibilities. They expect new situations to end the same way old ones did. They assume every opportunity will become another failure because they haven't separated their past experiences from their future potential. One difficult season does not predict the rest of your life. One failed business does not mean you are a failure. One broken relationship does not mean you are impossible to love. One missed opportunity does not mean success has passed you by forever. Circumstances can change, skills can improve, confidence can grow, character can become stronger. Your story is still being written. Think about the strongest people you've ever admired. Their lives were rarely easy. In fact, what made them inspiring wasn't that they avoided hardship. It was that hardship didn't get the final word. They experienced setbacks, criticism, fear, and uncertainty, but they refused to let those moments become permanent definitions of who they were. They understood something incredibly powerful. What happens to you and who you are two completely different things. You may have experienced failure, but that doesn't make you a failure. You may have gone through heartbreak, but that doesn't mean your future is defined by loss. You may have struggled with self-doubt, but self-doubt doesn't have to become your permanent identity. Experiences are temporary. Identity is a choice. Every day you decide which voice you will believe, the voice of your past or the voice of your potential. This is where real transformation begins. It begins the moment you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift changes everything. Suddenly, every setback becomes a lesson instead of a life sentence. Every disappointment becomes preparation instead of proof that you should quit. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to build qualities that success cannot exist without. Resilience, patience, courage, humility, and determination. Your scars can become reminders of your strength instead of reminders of your pain. Every challenge you survived is evidence that you are stronger than you once believed. Every difficult season taught you something that comfort never could. You are not weaker because life tested you. You are wiser because you kept going. But this requires a conscious decision. No one else can make it for you. There comes a moment when you have to stop waiting for your past to change and start changing your relationship with your past. You cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can completely rewrite the meaning you give it. Instead of seeing it as proof that life is against you, begin seeing it as preparation for the person you are becoming. Ask yourself an honest question. If you met yourself for the very first time today, without knowing anything about your past, what possibilities would you believe were available? You would probably dream bigger. You would probably take more chances. You would probably believe you were capable of far more than you've allowed yourself to believe. So why let memories limit what your future can become? The world does not need another person hiding behind old disappointments. It needs someone willing to rise again. Someone willing to believe that a painful chapter is not the final chapter. Someone willing to stand up after being knocked down and say, "That happened, but it does not define me." Because the greatest comeback doesn't begin when life becomes easier. It begins when you stop carrying the weight of yesterday into every tomorrow. It begins when you refuse to let your past introduce you anymore. It begins when you choose to believe that your identity is not built by your worst moments, but by the decisions you make from this moment forward. So today, make a promise to yourself. Stop defining your future by your past. Stop allowing old failures to speak louder than new possibilities. Stop letting yesterday's pain steal tomorrow's opportunities. Your past may explain where you've been, but it never has the authority to decide where you're going. Your greatest comeback begins the moment you believe that the best version of your life is still ahead of you, not behind you. Phase 2. Take responsibility for the life you want to build. There comes a moment in every person's life when they face a choice that quietly determines the direction of their future. It's the moment when they can either continue blaming circumstances, other people, bad luck, or their past, or they can decide to take responsibility for the life they want to create. That decision is not always easy, but it is always powerful, because the day you take responsibility is the day you take back your power. Let's be clear about something. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that has happened. Life can be unfair. People can disappoint you. Opportunities can disappear. You may have experienced rejection that you never deserved, heartbreak you never asked for, or setbacks that were completely outside your control. Those things are real. Acknowledging them is important. But there is a difference between recognizing what happened and allowing it to control the rest of your life. You cannot always choose what happens to you, but you can always choose what happens next. That is where your power lies. Your future is not built by the events you cannot control. It is built by the decisions you make after those events. Many people spend years waiting for someone else to change their life. They wait for the perfect opportunity. They wait for the right relationship. They wait for someone to recognize their talent. They wait for motivation to magically appear. They wait until they feel more confident, more prepared, or more certain, but waiting rarely changes anything. The people who create extraordinary lives are rarely the ones with perfect circumstances. They are the ones who stop waiting and start acting. They understand that progress begins long before confidence arrives. They don't have all the answers. They simply decide that standing still is no longer an option. Think about how often we give away our power without even realizing it. We say things like, "I'll start when life gets easier. I'll be happy when everything finally works out. I'll chase my dream when someone believes in me." Every one of those statements places your future in someone else's hands. The truth is, no one is coming to build your life for you. No one can develop your discipline. No one can create your habits. No one can make your decisions. No one can become the person you are capable of becoming except you. That realization can feel intimidating at first, but it is also incredibly freeing, because if your future depends on your daily choices, then every new day gives you another opportunity to change your direction. Responsibility is not about carrying the weight of the entire future all at once. It is about taking ownership of today. Today's choices become tomorrow's reality. Every small action matters more than most people realize. The conversation you choose to have, the book you decide to read, the skill you begin learning, the workout you complete, the extra hour you spend improving instead of making excuses. None of these decisions seem life-changing in the moment. But over weeks, months, and years, they shape the person you become. Success is rarely the result of one dramatic breakthrough. More often, It is the result of hundreds of ordinary decisions made consistently. The life you admire is usually built behind the scenes, long before anyone notices the results. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they need to transform everything overnight. They set impossible expectations for themselves. They promise to completely change their habits, routines, mindset, and future all at once. Then, when they struggle, they become discouraged and give up. Real growth doesn't work that way. Real growth is built one choice at a time. One better decision today, another better decision tomorrow, then another. Momentum begins with consistency, not perfection. You don't have to become the best version of yourself in a single day. You simply have to become a little better than yesterday. Those small improvements, repeated consistently, create extraordinary transformations over time. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It means asking difficult questions that many people avoid. Are your daily habits supporting the future you want? Are your routines helping you grow or keeping you comfortable? Are the people around you encouraging your potential or limiting your vision? Are you investing your time wisely? Or simply hoping things will somehow improve on their own? These questions may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary. Growth begins where excuses end. The more honest you become with yourself, the more clearly you can see the changes that need to be made. There will always be reasons to delay your dreams. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and unexpected challenges. If you wait for life to become perfect before taking action, you may spend your entire life waiting. Instead, become the kind of person who moves forward despite uncertainty. Take the first step before you know every answer. Apply for the opportunity, even if you're nervous. Start learning the skill before you feel qualified. Begin building healthy habits before you feel motivated. Action creates clarity. Progress creates confidence. Responsibility creates freedom. Remember this: every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are now. They faced fear. They doubted themselves. They questioned whether they were capable. The difference wasn't that they had fewer obstacles. The difference was that they decided to stop letting those obstacles make their decisions for them. Your future is not waiting for perfect conditions. It is waiting for your commitment. Imagine where your life could be 1 year from now if you started making intentional decisions today. Imagine the confidence you would build by keeping promises to yourself. Imagine the opportunities that would open because you chose discipline over excuses, action over hesitation, and growth over comfort. That future is not created by luck. It is created by responsibility. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to rescue you. Stop believing that your breakthrough depends on circumstances changing first. The life you want will always begin with the person you choose to become. And that choice begins today. Because the greatest comeback is not built on wishful thinking. It is built on personal responsibility. The moment you stop asking, "Who will change my life?" and start asking, "What can I do today to build the life I want?" everything begins to change. That single decision is the foundation of every lasting transformation. And it is the first real step toward the future you've always imagined. Matthew Hussey. Build confidence through action, not perfection. One of the biggest myths people believe is that confidence comes first. They think, once I feel confident, I'll start the business. Once I feel confident, I'll apply for the job. Once I feel confident, I'll speak up. Once I feel confident, I'll take the chance. But confidence doesn't work that way. Confidence is not the starting point. It is the result of showing up, taking action, and proving to yourself that you can handle challenges. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever met someone who was completely fearless the first time they tried something new? Of course not. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once stood in front of an audience with a shaking voice. Every successful entrepreneur once questioned whether anyone would believe in their idea. Every athlete once struggled with the basics before mastering their craft. The difference between those who grow and those who remain stuck is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even confidence. The difference is that one person is willing to act before feeling ready, while the other waits for perfect certainty that never arrives. Too many people treat confidence like a destination. They imagine waking up one morning, suddenly fearless, motivated, and completely prepared for every challenge. But life doesn't hand out confidence in advance. Life rewards those who earn it through action. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. You don't become confident by reading books about cycling. You don't gain confidence by watching other people ride. You become confident by getting on the bike, wobbling, falling, getting back up, and trying again. Every attempt teaches you something. Every mistake improves your balance. Every small success gives you a little more belief in yourself. Eventually, something that once felt impossible becomes second nature. Life works exactly the same way. Confidence is built through evidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you create evidence that you are capable. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you prove that fear does not control you. Every challenge you face becomes another brick in the foundation of your self-belief. The problem is that many people are addicted to perfection. They believe if they can't do something perfectly, they shouldn't do it at all. They spend weeks planning instead of starting. They spend months preparing instead of practicing. They spend years dreaming instead of doing. Perfection feels safe because if you never begin, you never have to risk failure. But perfection is one of the greatest enemies of progress. It whispers lies like, wait until you know more. Wait until everything is in place. Wait until you're guaranteed to succeed. The trouble is that those perfect conditions rarely exist. There will always be something you don't know, something you wish you had, or some reason why today doesn't feel like the right day. If you keep waiting for perfection, you'll spend your life watching opportunities pass by. Instead, learn to respect progress over perfection. Progress means being willing to take imperfect action. Progress means accepting that your first attempt probably won't be your best. Progress means understanding that mistakes are not signs that you're failing. They're signs that you're learning. Think about every skill you've ever developed. Whether it was driving a car, learning a language, playing a sport, or mastering a profession. None of it happened overnight. At first, you were slow. You made mistakes. You doubted yourself. But with every repetition, you became a little better. That improvement didn't happen because you were perfect. It happened because you refused to quit. The same principle applies to every area of life. Want stronger relationships? Practice having honest conversations, even if they feel uncomfortable. Want to become healthier? Start with one workout, one healthy meal, one positive habit. Want to build a successful career? Apply for opportunities, learn new skills, and keep improving, even when you don't feel completely qualified. Action creates experience. Experience creates competence. Competence creates confidence. Notice the order. Confidence is the outcome, not the requirement. Another important truth is this: confidence grows every time you keep your word to yourself. When you tell yourself you'll wake up early and you do it, your mind begins to trust you. When you promise yourself you'll exercise 3 times this week and you follow through, your belief in yourself becomes stronger. When you decide to finish a project and refuse to quit halfway through, you send yourself a powerful message: I can rely on myself. That kind of confidence cannot be borrowed from compliments or social media likes. It cannot be given to you by another person. It is built from the inside through consistent action. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, days when self-doubt speaks louder than hope, days when you question whether your effort is making any difference. Keep moving anyway. Motivation is temporary. Confidence built through discipline lasts much longer. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward even when fear is present. Every time you act despite uncertainty, fear loses a little of its power over you. Every time you refuse to let doubt make your decisions, you become mentally stronger. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. It's easy to look at successful people and think they were always confident. But you're only seeing the result of years of consistent effort. You're seeing the finished building, not the countless days spent laying one brick at a time. Your journey is your own. Celebrate your small victories. Celebrate the first step. Celebrate the lesson learned from failure. Celebrate the progress that no one else notices. Because those small victories eventually become extraordinary achievements. There is another truth that can completely change the way you approach life. People rarely remember whether your first attempt was perfect. They remember whether you had the courage to keep going. History is filled with individuals who failed repeatedly before succeeding. Their greatness was not that they avoided mistakes. It was that they refused to let mistakes define them. So stop asking yourself whether you're ready. Ask yourself whether you're willing. Are you willing to take one small step today? Are you willing to learn from your mistakes instead of fearing them? Are you willing to trade perfection for progress? Because that's where transformation begins. Your greatest comeback will not be built on flawless performances. It will be built on ordinary moments of courage repeated day after day. Every action you take strengthens your character. Every challenge you face expands your potential. Every promise you keep to yourself builds unshakable confidence. So don't wait until you feel fearless. Don't wait until every doubt disappears. Don't wait until you believe you're perfect. Start where you are. Use what you have. Take the next step, because confidence is never handed to those who wait. It is earned by those who move forward. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the person you wanted to become was created not by perfection, but by the simple decision to keep taking action, one courageous step at a time. Preface 4. Let go of what no longer belongs in your future. One of the hardest truths about growth is this: every new chapter requires the courage to leave something behind. We often think success is only about what we need to gain: more confidence, more opportunities, more knowledge, more discipline. But just as important as what you gain is what you choose to release. Because you cannot build a new future while refusing to let go of the things that keep pulling you back into your past. Many people say they want a different life, yet they continue holding on to old habits, old fears, old disappointments, and old versions of themselves. They keep carrying emotional baggage that was never meant to travel with them forever. They hold on to relationships that drain their energy, beliefs that limit their potential, and regrets that steal their joy. Then they wonder why moving forward feels so difficult. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a backpack filled with heavy stones. Every step becomes harder. Every climb feels exhausting. It's not because the mountain is impossible to climb. It's because you're carrying weight that doesn't belong there. Life works the same way. The question isn't only, what do I need to add to my life? Sometimes the more important question is, what do I need to stop carrying? Perhaps you've been holding on to a mistake you made years ago. Every time you think about chasing a new opportunity, that memory whispers, remember what happened last time. Maybe you're carrying the words of someone who told you that you weren't talented enough, smart enough, attractive enough, or capable enough. Those words may have been spoken years ago, but they've continued to live rent-free in your mind. Or maybe you've been holding on to disappointment. A dream didn't work out the way you expected. Someone broke your trust. Life took a different direction than the one you planned. Instead of accepting that chapter and turning the page, you've stayed emotionally stuck in a moment that no longer exists. Here's the truth: you cannot change yesterday. No amount of replaying it will rewrite it. No amount of regret will undo it. No amount of wishing will bring it back. The only thing you control is what you do with today. Growth begins the moment you stop asking your past for permission to move into your future. That doesn't mean pretending painful experiences never happened. It doesn't mean ignoring the lessons they taught you. It means refusing to let them become permanent chains around your future. There is a difference between remembering a lesson and living inside a wound. Lessons make you wiser. Ones that never heal keep you stuck. Every experience in your life was meant to teach you something, but not everything was meant to stay with you forever. Think about seasons in nature. Trees don't fight to keep every leaf. When autumn arrives, they release what no longer serves them. At first, the branches appear empty, almost vulnerable. But that letting go creates space for new growth in the spring. If the tree refused to release the old leaves, it would struggle to produce new ones. Your life follows the same principle. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is release what no longer belongs in the season you're entering. That could mean letting go of unhealthy habits that keep stealing your time and energy. It could mean walking away from constant comparison. Comparison convinces you that you're behind because someone else seems further ahead. But your journey is unique. Your timing is unique. Every time you compare your beginning to someone else's success, you rob yourself of the confidence to keep growing. It could mean letting go of fear. Fear has a way of disguising itself as protection. It tells you that staying where you are is safer than taking a risk. It reminds you of every failure you've ever experienced and convinces you that trying again is too dangerous. But here's what fear never tells you. It never tells you about the opportunities you'll miss. It never tells you about the relationships you'll never build. It never tells you about the dreams that will remain untouched simply because you were too afraid to begin. Fear doesn't just stop failure. It often stops success. You also have to let go of the version of yourself that no longer fits the future you're trying to build. Many people unknowingly stay loyal to an outdated identity. They continue saying things like, "I'm just not disciplined. I'm not confident. I've always been this way." Be careful with those words. Every time you repeat them, you're reinforcing a version of yourself that may no longer be true. You are allowed to outgrow your old identity. You are allowed to become someone stronger than you were yesterday. You are allowed to surprise even yourself. Growth requires the courage to stop introducing yourself through old limitations. Perhaps one of the most difficult things to release is the need for approval. So many people spend years trying to become the person everyone else expects them to be. They chase acceptance instead of purpose. They make decisions based on other people's opinions instead of their own values. But your future isn't built by pleasing everyone. It's built by becoming the person you were created to be. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will support your decisions. Not everyone will celebrate your growth. And that's okay. Your responsibility is not to earn everyone's approval. Your responsibility is to stay true to the life you're building. There will also be moments when letting go feels uncomfortable, because the familiar, even when unhealthy, feels safer than the unknown. We often cling to what's familiar simply because we've lived with it for so long. But familiar doesn't always mean healthy. Comfort doesn't always mean growth. Sometimes your greatest breakthrough is waiting on the other side of a difficult goodbye. Goodbye to excuses. Goodbye to limiting beliefs. Goodbye to self-doubt. Goodbye to habits that no longer reflect the person you're becoming. Every meaningful transformation includes a season of release. Before your life can be filled with new opportunities, there must be room for them to enter. So ask yourself honestly, what habit is holding me back? What fear keeps making my decisions? What story about myself do I need to stop believing? What part of my past am I still carrying that no longer belongs in my future? Those questions aren't meant to discourage you. They're meant to set you free. Because every answer brings you one step closer to the life you've been hoping for. Remember, letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. It takes strength to release what feels familiar. It takes courage to leave behind what no longer aligns with the person you're becoming. It takes faith to trust that making space today will allow something greater to grow tomorrow. One day you'll look back and realize that the things you fought so hard to hold on to were the very things slowing you down. You'll see that every difficult goodbye created room for a better hello. Every lesson made you wiser. Every release made you lighter. Every decision to move forward made you stronger. So don't be afraid to close the chapter that no longer serves you. Don't keep carrying yesterday into tomorrow. Your future deserves a version of you that is free, not weighed down by regret, fear, or old limitations. Because your greatest comeback doesn't begin when everything around you changes. It begins when you finally have the courage to let go of everything that no longer belongs in the life you're determined to build. Poppy 75. Stay consistent when results are invisible. One of the greatest tests you will ever face is not whether you can work hard when everyone is watching. It is whether you can keep showing up when it feels like nothing is changing. Anyone can stay motivated when the results come quickly. It's easy to feel excited when opportunities appear, when people applaud your efforts, or when success seems to arrive overnight. But real character is revealed in the quiet seasons. Those moments when you are doing everything you know you should do, yet the results remain invisible. This is where most people give up, not because they lack talent, not because they lack potential, but because they mistake silence for failure. They convince themselves that because they cannot see immediate progress, no progress is happening at all. That is one of the biggest lies you can believe. The most important changes in life often happen beneath the surface long before anyone can see them. Think about a seed planted in the ground. The day after it is planted, nothing appears. A week later, the soil still looks the same. Even after several weeks, there may be no visible evidence that anything is happening. But beneath the surface, something incredible is taking place. Roots are growing. Strength is developing. The foundation is becoming deep enough to support future growth. If someone judged the seed only by what they could see, they might assume nothing was happening. They might dig it up, believing it had failed. Yet the truth is that the invisible work is preparing for the visible breakthrough. Your life works the same way. Every disciplined choice you make is planting a seed. Every early morning when you choose purpose over comfort. Every evening when you continue learning instead of giving up. Every healthy habit you repeat. Every hour you spend improving your skills. Every promise you keep to yourself. None of these moments may seem extraordinary on their own. In fact, they often feel ordinary. They may even feel repetitive. But repetition is where transformation begins. The danger is that we live in a world that celebrates instant success. We scroll through stories of overnight achievements and assume that greatness happens quickly. What we rarely see are the years of quiet preparation behind every visible success. We see the athlete holding the trophy. We don't see the thousands of mornings they train before sunrise. We see the successful entrepreneur. We don't see the countless setbacks, failures, and late nights that came first. We see the confident speaker on stage. We don't see the years they spent practicing, learning, and overcoming self-doubt. The world applauds the outcome, but the outcome was built during seasons when nobody was watching. That is why consistency matters more than motivation. Motivation is emotional. Consistency is intentional. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you'll wake up feeling inspired. Other mornings you'll feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. If your progress depends only on how you feel, your progress will always be unpredictable. Consistency says, I'm going to keep going whether I feel like it or not. That mindset changes everything, because success is not built by extraordinary effort once in a while. It is built by ordinary effort repeated every single day. Imagine placing one brick every day. One brick seems insignificant. It doesn't look impressive. No one stops to admire a single brick. But if you place one brick every day with care and consistency, eventually you build a wall. Continue long enough, and that wall becomes a house. The same principle applies to your dreams. One workout doesn't transform your body. One book doesn't transform your mind. One conversation doesn't transform your relationships. But repeated consistently over time, those small actions reshape your entire life. Never underestimate the power of what seems small today. Small actions become powerful habits. Powerful habits become lasting character. Lasting character creates extraordinary results. There will be seasons when you'll question whether your effort is worth it. You'll wonder if anyone notices. You'll wonder if you're wasting your time. You'll wonder whether you should slow down or quit altogether. In those moments, remember this: not all progress is immediately visible. Sometimes you're becoming stronger before your circumstances become better. Sometimes you're developing patience before receiving the opportunity. Sometimes you're building discipline before reaching the destination. The person you're becoming is just as important as the success you're pursuing, because when the opportunity finally arrives, you'll need the character to handle it well. Many people want success without preparation. They want the reward without the discipline. They want the breakthrough without the process. But lasting success requires both. Preparation always comes before performance. Growth always comes before greatness. There is another reason consistency is so powerful. Every time you continue despite not seeing results, you strengthen your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who doesn't quit, someone who keeps promises, someone who follows through, someone who can be trusted, not only by others but by yourself. That kind of self-respect is priceless. It becomes the foundation for every future achievement. Imagine looking back 1 year from now. You have two choices. The first is to quit today because progress feels slow. A year later, you'll likely be standing in the same place, wondering what could have happened if you had simply kept going. The second is to remain consistent. 1 day at a time, one habit at a time, one improvement at a time. A year later, you'll barely recognize the person you've become. Not because one dramatic moment changed your life, but because hundreds of quiet decisions shaped it. Remember, the people who achieve extraordinary things are rarely the ones who never felt discouraged. They are the ones who refused to let discouragement make their decisions. They understood that temporary emotions should never control permanent dreams. So keep showing up, keep learning, keep practicing, keep improving, even when nobody applauds, even when your efforts seem unnoticed, even when the finish line feels far away. Because consistency has a remarkable way of rewarding those who refuse to give up. One day, the results that once seemed invisible will become impossible to ignore. People will look at your success and call it luck. They'll say it happened suddenly. They'll admire the confidence, the discipline, the achievements, and the growth. What they won't see are the countless days when nothing seemed to happen. The mornings you chose discipline over excuses. The evenings you continued working while others stopped. The moments you believed in your future even when there was no evidence to support it. Those invisible days are never wasted. They are the days that build everything. So if you're in a season where it feels like your effort isn't paying off, don't lose heart. Stay consistent. Trust the process. Keep planting the seeds. Keep laying the bricks. Keep becoming the person your future requires. Because your greatest comeback will not be created by one extraordinary day. It will be created by hundreds of ordinary days where you chose to keep moving forward, even when you couldn't yet see the results. And one morning, you'll wake up and realize that everything you thought was happening in silence was actually preparing you for the breakthrough you've been working toward all along. Fun Lesson 6. Decide that today is the beginning of your greatest comeback. There comes a moment in every person's life that changes everything. It is not always dramatic. There may be no applause, no announcement, and no one else may even know it happened. Yet it becomes the turning point that separates the life you used to live from the life you are about to create. That moment is a decision, not a perfect plan, not the perfect opportunity, not the perfect timing, a decision. The greatest comebacks in life do not begin when circumstances suddenly improve. They begin when someone looks at their situation, no matter how difficult it may be, and says, This is not where my story ends. Think about how many people spend years waiting for the right time. They tell themselves, I'll start next month. I'll change when life becomes less stressful. I'll chase my dream after everything settles down. But the truth is, life rarely becomes completely convenient. There will always be another challenge, another responsibility, another excuse, or another reason to postpone the life you truly want. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you may spend your entire life waiting. The people who create extraordinary lives are not those who had perfect timing. They are the ones who decided that today was good enough to begin. Your comeback starts with a choice to stop letting fear make your decisions, a choice to stop allowing disappointment to define your future, A choice to stop believing that because yesterday was difficult, tomorrow must be the same. Every meaningful transformation begins with one courageous decision. Maybe today you're carrying disappointment. Perhaps you've experienced failure more than once. Maybe you've been rejected, overlooked, criticized, or underestimated. Maybe life hasn't unfolded the way you imagined. Those experiences can leave you questioning your worth and wondering if it's too late to start again. But let me remind you of something incredibly important. Your past may explain where you are. It does not determine where you can go. The pages you've already written are not the only pages in your story. There are chapters that haven't been lived yet, victories that haven't been celebrated yet, dreams that haven't been fulfilled yet. The future is still unwritten, and that means you still have the power to shape it. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they need to completely transform their lives overnight. They think a comeback requires one huge leap. In reality, every remarkable comeback begins with one small decision followed by another. One decision to wake up earlier, one decision to forgive yourself, one decision to stop making excuses, one decision to start learning, one decision to become healthier, one decision to speak kindly to yourself, one decision to keep going when quitting feels easier. Small decisions made consistently have the power to create extraordinary results. Never underestimate what one decision can accomplish. One conversation can change your perspective. One habit can change your health. One opportunity can change your career. One act of courage can change your confidence. One decision can change your life. History is filled with people who experienced incredible comebacks, not because everything became easy, but because they refused to surrender to difficult circumstances. They faced setbacks that would have convinced many others to quit. They encountered rejection, criticism, and uncertainty. Yet they made a decision that became stronger than every obstacle they faced. Their comeback didn't begin when the world believed in them. It began when they believed in themselves. That same opportunity exists for you today, not tomorrow, not next year, today. Because every day you delay is another day your future waits for the version of you that is ready to begin. There is something powerful about making a firm decision. When you truly decide, your mindset changes. You stop looking for excuses and start looking for solutions. You stop focusing on everything you cannot control and begin investing your energy in what you can control. You stop asking whether success is possible and start asking what your next step should be. That shift changes everything. Your energy changes, your habits change, your priorities change, and eventually your results change. Remember, this confidence does not come from waiting. Confidence grows through commitment. The moment you commit to your future, you begin becoming the person capable of creating it. There will still be difficult days. There will still be moments of doubt. There will still be setbacks along the journey. A comeback does not mean life suddenly becomes effortless. It means you become stronger than the obstacles standing in your way. Instead of allowing setbacks to stop you, you learn from them. Instead of allowing fear to control you, you move forward despite it. Instead of allowing failure to define you, you let it refine you. That is the mindset of someone who is building a comeback. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. Picture the person you could become if you remained committed every single day. Imagine waking up with greater confidence because you've kept promises to yourself. Imagine looking back with gratitude because you refused to quit when it would have been easier. Imagine inspiring others simply because you chose to continue when most people would have stopped. That future is not created by luck. It is created by today's decision. Every great achievement begins long before anyone else notices it. It begins in quiet moments when no one is watching. It begins when you choose discipline over comfort, growth over convenience, faith over fear, action over excuses. Those choices may seem small today, but they become the foundation of an extraordinary future. So don't spend another day waiting for someone else to change your life. Don't wait for perfect circumstances. Don't wait until you feel fearless. Don't wait until every question has been answered. Start now. Take the first step, even if it's small. Trust that each step will lead to another. Trust that every effort is building strength. Trust that consistency will create momentum. Trust that the person you're becoming is worth every challenge you face. One day you'll look back at this season and realize it wasn't the chapter where everything fell apart. It was the chapter where everything began to come together. You'll realize that what once felt like the end was actually the beginning. The beginning of greater confidence. The beginning of stronger character. The beginning of a clearer purpose. The beginning of a life built intentionally instead of accidentally. And when people ask what changed, the answer won't be that life suddenly became easier. The answer will be simple. Kes, you made a decision, thus. You decided that your past would no longer control your future. You decided that fear would no longer make your choices. You decided that excuses would no longer steal your potential. You decided that every setback would become a lesson instead of a limitation. You decided that no matter how many times life knocked you down, you would always choose to rise again. Because the greatest comeback is never reserved for the luckiest people. It belongs to those who refuse to give up on themselves. So let today be remembered, not as another ordinary day, but as the day you drew a line between who you were and who you chose to become. The day you stopped surviving and started building. The day you stopped doubting and started believing. The day you stopped waiting and started moving. The day you looked at your future with hope instead of fear. Because your greatest comeback doesn't start someday, Gizidar Sever. It starts today's ending of speech. As we come to the end of this message, I want to leave you with one simple but life-changing thought. Your greatest comeback is not waiting for the perfect moment. It is waiting for your decision. No matter what you've been through, no matter how many times you've fallen, and no matter how impossible your situation may seem today, remember this. Your past has shaped you, but it does not have the power to define you. Every setback has taught you something. Every challenge has made you stronger. Every difficult season has been preparing you for the person you are becoming. So, stop looking back with regret and start looking ahead with purpose. Take responsibility for your future. Build confidence through action instead of waiting for perfection. Let go of everything that no longer belongs in your life. Stay consistent even when no one notices your effort. And above all, make the decision that today is the day your comeback begins. Years from now, people may only see your success. They may admire your confidence, your strength, and your achievements. But you will remember these quiet moments. The days when you chose discipline over excuses, courage over comfort, faith over fear, and persistence over giving up. Never underestimate what one decision can do. One decision can change your habits. One decision can change your mindset. One decision can change your future. And one decision can completely change your life. So when you leave here today, don't just feel inspired, be transformed. Don't just dream about a better future, start building it. Don't wait for another opportunity, another season, or another year. Start today. Because the world doesn't need another person living beneath their potential. It needs someone who has the courage to rise after every setback, to keep moving when the road is difficult, and to become an example that resilience is stronger than adversity. Believe in yourself, trust the process, keep moving forward, and never forget that your greatest comeback will not be remembered because life was easy. It will be remembered because you refused to quit when it would have been easier to give up. Thank you for listening. Now go out into the world with courage, with purpose, and with unwavering belief in what you are capable of becoming. Your greatest comeback starts today.